Friday. Stock market review. Here we go. Although tomorrow's still a work day, sort of. Well, let's start today. Basically, in one day. I doubt anything will change there tomorrow. Stock market. America. Well, those are very good signals. We have drawn a support zone. And, well, the girl is very powerful looking. Further, for continuing to go further upward. But, let's take a look at the 3 days we have going on. It's been 2 days kind of thing. Yeah. Well, we have a level. As a matter of fact, it was pushed back from him. That's a very cool endorsement. It's starting to turn around, and 3 days begins to unfold. A week. We're kind of closing in 4 hours today. The money flow is very powerful. It's going upwards. The money is there, and the power of the bulls is huge. I doubt very much that it's a reversal, that we're all going to be down there, further down, yet a move up is very possible. And on the bottom of the WKI, we have a good support zone here, just like that, and the upper level of 50-50. And back into the canal, the most basic thing. Now everything will develop further, just around this level. That's 5,200. As a matter of fact, the whole movement will take place near it. While drawing, well, in general on the daily, of course, the cash flow is deflated. It was already oversold here, and a strong one at that. And there was a good signal for a reversal, and turned around. Now, some really bad data came out yesterday, that inflation is not going down, and things are not really looking good at all. On large time frames, it's drawing even further upward. It already looks shitty on the daily, very weak right now. Next week, for the first probably 3 days, it will be clear what happens next. What do we have here for 10 o'clock? Cash flow is negative, and sales are going. 3 o'clock is also further behind the turnaround. Well, it looks like there's another hike to the level now. From level to level, and this is where it will be decided. Either further up, or the downward movement will begin. But so far, things are looking up, especially on the single day, on the cash flow, that things have basically started to pay off here, but the buyer is gone. Probably a level hike. I've got the short right here. I'm holding it. Basically, you could fix it a little bit here, but my shorts aren't big enough there to fix it. I'll just keep holding him. I've got a 4,800 peak so far. Next week, 1 or 2 days. And we will have to watch, because now it can close in the plus. And just there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere, there is some upward movement, and some stick down can still be. Because the reports. Such controversial ones going on there right now. And actually, they have a week of reports there. There's weakness. And the most important thing is that inflation is not going down. And rates will continue to hold. And however, rates are still going to be raised. And at some point, everything is actually in a very bad state. The economy is in. And you can see from the chart that the buyer has weakened. The downward slide is still a straight line. Dollar. Well, from the orange here, the idea is how to keep the shorts going forward. Today something happened, such a good buyback candle, and with a possible continuation further, one more time to touch the level. But in general, it looks quite controversial. Well, further. On 3 days, we have strong resistance here, and here we have approached it. Well, exactly the same. Down is not going down yet. Demand for the dollar is 3 days. Of course, actually looks quite strong. So that further up may go up. Gold formed. Good sellers block order flew out of the channel. That tested it. And if that's viewed as there, I've seen it often, very much on the viola. There should be another straight upward move from here. But we have gold, and we can only get that kind of upward movement if we aggravate some general condition in the world in general. So there's some very strong conflict there. Something worse is bound to happen, and that's going to create a very strong demand for gold. And then the upward movement could intensify. Because look, we have here in the channel, I sent in that here, there are 2 levels to buy. Here is the first one, and here is the one here. If the second one comes, of course, from the first one, if the long has been taken here, then of course keep on holding. But if we look at 3 days on different delta, and taking into account that we broke the channel, there should be a strong upward movement. That is, if something happens in the world, it will go further up. But not yet. Of course, so far it looks like it's going to fall down, and it should come to this level, to 2,200. And also look, above 2,300, what huge volumes were coming out. So someone here has been selling out and is selling out. Bull's strength. Not so much. For the fuse. Onward. Something has to happen in the world for gold to rocket further. A pullback is being drawn for now. I will buy when there is either a yellow bar or something reversal like this on the daily. That is at least some signal for a reversal. So far, there is not enough of that for me. This is where the big one that's coming in is playing to the lower boundary of the channel. The oil has been worked off, and there's a demand here. Demand is good. And the strong 92 zone, it's just look at this huge resistance zone. It's going to get punctured. That's farther away. Where can we go next? Well, that's 110 might send it to 110. In general, 92, even on a weekly basis, is the channel boundary. Very often, it is the magnet that acts as a magnet and comes right up to the very edge. Well, even now near the border. Well, the week draws another, of course, 92. A straight up high probability of touching. But I don't see the point in buying here, because it's already dangerous. And you should not short oil either, because God forbid something happens in the east again. It will immediately lead to a rapid rise in oil. Natural gas. I watched it, and I really wanted to get into it. To come in. Well, because here came into the zone, especially the one I was talking about, that's coming in right here at 161. Kind of like, yeah, this is where 161 came in, right here, right into my spot, where I wanted to buy this super cool spot. I'm 100% sure it's gonna rocket upward from here. I went into the futures and looked at the cost, because yesterday's close was just like that. And fucked up. Look, the cost here is 1.6, and you could buy it at 1.9. And realize, of course, that it's not interesting at all. Either there's some kind of long-term contract out there for 2.2. It's really not fun to buy something like that. This is where it actually was when I bought. This is where, right before closing, I took it. And that's the whole movement thing. Did a good job. Here now, well, some kind of long-term contract. In general, at UT, of course, the players sitting there are interesting. And if you go in like this, try to shift from here. It's 20%. That is, if there was a contract, it closed yesterday, and in order to move into the new contract, the price difference is practically 20% at the opening. So with spot gas, buy and hold. Especially since a very cool uptrend has started here. By the way, there's a good chance it could go to 1.78 from here. There's a strong seller signal here, by the way. Exactly the same. There he is, and here as worked out before. And here now, a strong salesman has emerged. 1.78 would be a likely reversal spot. Okay, next, US debt. US debt signaling. I mean, it sure looks like shit. Look at how easy it was to fall. And how it falls. And continues to fall further. And here, what huge volumes are going on right now. Suggests that all is not well in America. There are no direct signals for long entry yet either. The turquoise should set. Then you can go in. And here's something like this at least. So they can be. There were beepers like this, like this. These are good signals for entry. It's a little bit of everything right now. Thus, the Dow Jones Index. It's a similar situation here. Channel boundaries came in, just formed a good buying zone. Tested it, bounced it, and on the reports, in fact. The reports there were good. There it turns out, Nvidia did minus 10. Intel kind of did minus 10 as well. But Google's doing great over there. He did the opposite of plus 10. I mean, the splits are very good there, in general. And Tesla is here too, by the way. She kind of didn't have a great report there either. But everyone believed in Elon that he was there saying they would sell some cheaper models. And everyone believed, and Tesla has also scrapped there too, also there, plus 12, plus 15% kind of made. Locally here, if it holds along the channel boundary here, and further upward movement is likely. But it looks very weak indeed. Especially here, look, the cash flow just went into the negative. If one considers any, that's where we had the growth. Here's another one that even had a good upstream. Then they kind of cut it off, and that was it. See, this is where the cash flow goes into the red zone. This is all the beginning of a downward movement, and a rather strong one at that. And it's exactly the same everywhere else here. Where the red zone is, it's still a downward slide. So, in fact, there was no growth here. I mean, everything is just creeping sideways. Then we have a pop, an uptrend, and the red zone starts again. But that's it. Waiting for more reports and watching. Very now. Shaky situation on all, practically. You can see that on the fund, on the index. Here that they're trying to hold on to, but it looks like shit. So let's go abs digital, turbine coziness, and why am I so drained? It's weeks. We're having a very rough week. Then so go to the maximum filter and see what we have going on here. Here is very certainly teeny what is going on, and such definitely not to buy. Especially look at the week of weeks, so hard pluming that it is straight. Something at Renova company is happening, looks just well. Month 5 on month about, look, there is no buy signal yet. That is, there is no turquoise. And in principle, it's not the first time for the company to fall so hard, and it's really hard to fly down. We have a really cool level here. There's another level to it. Here he is, but this company is still twice as much if it adds up. That should add up to almost twice as much. And then it's okay to buy here. Only at these levels so far. Here it is the first level, and here is the second level to buy. Well, the second one might even be a little higher up here. And here we get a level 1. Yeah. It's very clear. Well, you can have one of each, it'll come here. You can have one of each, and it certainly looks very stiff. We need to see what's going on with the company in general. When this happens, it means that something is completely wrong with the company. And as if she wouldn't have been destroyed. Tuck! And here she is, very apropos. A cool level. Painted. And we're looking at what we've got here for 2 days. It looks like some kind of straight scam alta that has been falling for who knows how long. Then a little bit, it broke through the level, it was bought back, and now it's trying to hold on. And everywhere, there are highs and lows. Terrible. And even look at this all blue indication on the oscillator. These are all with black bars. Just a huge number of them on the day. And not on all growths. These are tiny green bars. In fact, nothing even has time to heat up. I mean, the company sells any growth and goes on sale immediately because it doesn't even have time to heat up. So far too. Well, right now, there's even a green bar kind of showing up today. And this upward movement we've got here, how long is that? Well, it's not bad. You can make money. 76% was the increase. And the likelihood that maybe this gap right here is going to close. But there aren't any buy signals on the dev yet. Basically, it's on the level, and now a place. If you can buy it in the long term and see what the company is doing, that it is not bankrupt, that it will no longer exist, then of course you can buy it. Let's take a look at her for a month. This is where the month certainly looks cool. First of all, zone of interest. And there is already a little oversold on the waves. Look very cool. In general, there is no tearing. And in general, just cool, buy, sell, buy, sell. Cool, walk on the indicator, and it goes in general. It is just great on the indicator here, just to enter now. There are no signals, but there are very cool visual levels, where the signals worked well earlier. Here it will come here once again, and here is the second level of the court. And so, of course, it is drawn that the upward movement may start. Especially for a month. Very strong fence going up, cash flow up. That could start to grow nicely. Well, this week, here it was, turquoise, a super cool buy signal. After it, if you buy and hold, it will come to the level here. Once again, here it will come to the level. Here, even to the black bar, has reached, yes, to a strong overheating. And here now, exactly the same very strong resistance will break through it. Could go up further. But so far it looks basically like it could go up further, especially for a month that's up. Well, these were the coolest places. Here's where the black bars were. Here's where you had to buy the 4. Nothing is clear on the daily, not even some strong levels. Well, here's another level of good. Selling is going on, and it looks uninteresting. Either on the week or on the month, there are no clear signals to buy. Basically, there's some kind of oversold kind of thing going on. But look, there she is. And then they took her off after that, and then she flew further down. Badly. So it is definitely not necessary to buy such a thing already on such a signal. Yes, I take for a barrel some was on a month. Also, generally, very good places. But now it is definitely not necessary to buy such a thing. There's nothing particularly interesting here. General Motors here is directly visible on the girls. Good level, which now wants to break through. Looking at what we've got going on this week with these guys. See, all good, trying to break through the level. 46 is a strong enough level. It's not even 46 here, it's even been run through already. That's the level 45. Now 46. If he stays here, what do we have? Then we'll have to see what happens next week. 2 good days. Broke through a level, and with a very strong signal, it is likely to move up further. Good signals coming through. And there's exactly the same good cash flow here, and everything for the sequel looks good. But it's too late to buy here. Huh? Tesla. Tesla's on the bottom. Look how cool the signal was. And now to continue to hold the long. All in for the long. Long's on fire here. Only came out of oversold conditions. And keep on keeping on. But definitely not buying it now. This is where everything had to be bought at 140 somewhere. By now, a very strong movement has already passed. Thus, GLD. We're the ones with the gold. And it looks like, in general, the chart is very similar to the golden one. Cash flow is up. As I understand it, it's probably a trust, some kind of fund with gold. It's exactly the same here. Huge cash flow and growing. Even if there's a little bit down there that can pull away, there's going to be more going up. It's like, people are stocking up on gold. Something, they're preparing for something, or they're afraid of something. And they think that gold is such a, the only asset that, if the world is going to be fucked, gold is one of the strongest safe havens at the moment. Here after this last signal should have reached a yellow bar of some sort for a reversal for 3 days. Probably one more time. This one won't touch this one. It's going to unfold here somewhere. Yep. Well, I don't think it's going to go much higher than that. Where? Also a Dow Jones fund, as I understand it. And it's the same here, which is like an index. I doubt high will touch it again. Yeah, there's a reversal here. Kind of started. The cash flow, in general, has been blown out pretty badly. Although he's where the growth started here. It looks like shit. It really sucks that the cash flow got drained. Down is more like it. Further down. I mean, here to buy. And something so straight, super long, I wouldn't buy anything. Microsoft. And these are just about all of them. Holy shit, they got a couple gaps here. How they opened here, and then again later. They flew alright out there. Strong resistance has been formed here for 3 days. Their cash flow is huge, but they have a report out. And the report is very good. They're doing well there. They're doing well. And here now to watch, again, what happens next week. If they get out of this resistance here and go further up, they may, of course, still be able to break through there. But so far it doesn't look good. It looks like right now, everything is at its maximum, and it's not going to go straight down from any high. I've never had it, go up sharply, and then something like that, and then straight down with a stick. No, there have always been more attempts. There will always be attempts. That is, people's emotional state takes a very long time to change. That is, if in the market, euphoria is present for a long time, like this, here, it can go on for months. There's gonna be resistance. Then, there'll still be time for half the people to think, oh no, after all. She'll turn around, even as she starts to fall. And only then, when it will already depart somewhere around 15-20%, people there will be at downfalls, and let's sell everything at the lows. Already here to watch exactly the same for a few days, even within a week where it goes. But it's looking like it might start to go down further. Oops, we got resistance here. Looks like shit. They buy, the buyer is there. The cash flow comes in. Basically, we're on our own. If you look, we have the same downward direction on the RTI and downward direction on the waves. This is where the downward movement is now starting to go down as well. 3 days on diary, we have what? We've got a day's work here. Alright, look, you should have kept it short. Here's to the level one more time. And from here, we'll have to see what else is going on with the bit. Well, the Bitcoin's the same way. If it gets to 70, then near 70, we'll have to see what happens. Will there be a further breakout and a new high? Or will there be a downward movement? So far in favor of the downward movement,